Speaker, there was a comment just earlier around the land titles and how important that is to Tasmania. And I just want to place on my record, in the context of the conversation of selling out Tasmania's future at the moment, the concerns that are being held within our community, particularly around archiving and titles and the history of Tasmania. The government, on behalf of Tasmanians, are the custodians of an incredible historic archive dating back 200 years of documents and titles and conveyancing transactions. What a wonderful and incredible asset that is held within Tasmania. Records are kept by the government on behalf of the people of Tasmania, and some people might remember back in the day you used to be able to actually go to buildings and go down into basements and actually see source documents and original titles, which both was important and useful when people were making transactions, but also was an incredible and wonderful experience. There should be credit. This land titles is connected to my portfolio, as is technology, and there should be credit to the government. They've just invested heavily in digitising the records, making them more accessible. But I suppose a question would be, having done all that work, would you go to the extent of all the digitising just then to privatise? There are so many risks associated to Tasmanians around the records that are held by that potential process, and a question, I suppose, on the investment just made. Is that the right thing to then do, just to let it go? A number of questions that I've got around these physical records. What will happen to the physical records if privatised? What will happen to the historic documents? What will it mean for the list that are used every day by many, many people, not only public servants but members of the public, businesses and organisations that use them in their day-to-day work? Will governments have to now pay to access the list to do their work every day? And will that then see an increase in the cost to do that for the everyday Tasmanian that wants to make an inquiry into the list, for people that are having transactions, for government departments? What will it mean to access that very valuable and essential critical public asset right now? Are there questions around copyright in terms of the historic nature and the personal nature of some of these documents? So I wanted to raise these questions just to pose thought to the government as they go on this pathway of considering Tasmania, selling Tasmania's future and privatising things like the Land Titles Office. We want to make sure that our history is protected, that the people that work in that area are looked after, and that we take deep consideration of the importance of these things before they're simply sold off.
Thank you, Member Stein. I'll call the member for Bass.